You know what's worse than failing is never letting yourself succeed in the first place. I've been doing this for years, and it's really sneaky because on the outside, I feel like I'm doing so much work and working so hard, and I'm trying. But I start these projects, and I spend so many hours in there. But deep down, I've already decided it's not going to end. Maybe you've done that too. Where you kind of sabotage yourself, and you feel like, deep down, you're not going to earn it or win it or whatever. I take these shots and I start these projects. I push myself, but there's this voice that says, "Don't get your hopes up, Jesse. Like winning really is an option for me." And I've always come so close to I feel like completing these projects and crossing the finish line. But if I'm being real, I always sabotage myself, and then I always have to face what comes next, and then start another project over again, and I get those hopes up again. And I really think I know why. If I'm being honest, which I am on YouTube here. I think it started when I was a kid. Not that anyone was trying to be mean or to hurt me, but somewhere along the way, I picked up this feeling where, maybe just wasn't quite good enough. Where I always compared myself to others and how I handled mistakes. But I carried that into adulthood, and then when you grow up with that kind of quiet voice in your head, and you believe winning really isn't for you, it's for other people. It's really hard to succeed in life. So instead of running full speed, I tend to hold back. And here's the problem: when you hold back, you only get half the results. And so every time I do that, I get half the results, and then I have that same feeling inside of me. But here's what I started to believe is that God doesn't put dreams in us just so we can tiptoe around them. He puts them in us so we can walk into them with faith. And he gives that to us as individuals. There's no guarantee, but moving forward, you have to believe in yourself, even if no one else believes in you. So I started to ask myself, what if I actually believed in myself? What if I actually deserved to win? What if I believed I could win? What if I went all in? Not for the money, but just to finally show my kids what it looks like to actually finish something, to go for something without holding back, to live without having this invisible ceiling I've had over my head for years and years of my life, until I finally realized that lately over the last few months. I feel like, I've stopped telling people about all my goals and my dreams, because not that I've given up, but because every time I've shared them, I've hit a speed bump where I've stopped. I've lost momentum, which I'm sure you can relate to. And then I have no one really to push me forward, because this is my dream. And honestly, this is my plan. This is something God put in me, in my heart. And so when God gives you a vision and other people might not understand it, it's difficult to persuade other people, because he gave them just to yourself, So if things don't change, I know I'm going to start to lose faith in myself, and the positivity and the patience and the joy I have in life, and all this energy I bring to being a husband and a dad. And I'm going to slip into this place where I really don't want to go. I already hear my kids talking about why can't I buy this, Dad? Why can't they buy this? And that really stings, because they don't see the late nights I spend, trying to sacrifice my sleep to have a better life. And so that's why I'm here now. That's why I put myself on YouTube. I've been putting this off for many, many years. And I feel like right now is the best time for me to be doing this. Not because I'm ready, but because I'm willing to. I can't let go of another year of doing the same thing, where it's just the same over and over process, Maybe it's another late night that maybe you've had, whether you're actually going to actually hit your goals or not. But, you're not alone. I feel like there's probably a lot of people out there that maybe just aren't talking how I'm feeling. But it's a belief worth fighting for. And sometimes, that's enough to take to the next step in life.